Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Oh, it's a Friday, and it's a standard Q&A? What?
Yeah.
This is a Christmas miracle. Amazing. It's been a long time.
Trying to do what we can, when we can, however we can, with whatever we can.
Yes. We appreciate your patience, everyone. I know it's taken us a long time to get to many of your questions, but we're slowly but surely working our way through. So, just for you guys, we're doing some YouTube questions today with a couple of Discord ones also thrown in. So,
before we get to that, because we may not get another chance to announce this before it happens, because the holidays are upon us, and that schedule's scary looking. We are going to wrap up this year with our live Q&A session on December 31st at midnight, or just before midnight, Eastern Standard Time. Gimmick is we're going to do BumbleKast midnight my time and wrap up on BumbleKast midnight Kyle time.
Nice. Yeah, it's going to be fun. You want to be there for that. It's going to be late for some of you, but for others of you, it's actually going to be like real early in the morning, so that's going to be awkward.
And if everyone's just asleep, we'll pull up some standard Q&A and answer them there. We'll fill the air somehow.
We have no shortage. No shortage whatsoever. Will not be a problem.
Well, let's get our Sisyphean effort underway and start pushing with some questions.
Alrighty, here we go. Here's this one from Boney Cheese to start us off. Is Rocket Metal Sonic his super form, or just Eggman strapping rockets on metals?
Just a special model of metal.
Just freaking put rockets on him. That's right. Rocket Metal. Sounds good to me.
God, I wish he'd come back. I love Rocket Metal Sonic. He's such a cool design.
I know. It's too bad he's only in one game for 2 seconds. Once again, more lost potential. Here's a question from Certified Nobody. Ian, have you read Superior Spider-Man? If so, how would you do the same concept with Sonic, and which villain would be the superior Sonic? By this, I mean them becoming an antihero and not just using Sonic's body for evil.
I read bits and pieces of it. I was kind of turned off by the segments where it's very clear that Peter is being fully erased and he's gone forever. And it's like, no, he's not. You know they're going to reverse this. Don't throw out such nonsense and expect us to swallow it. It's, just have fun with the event and don't try to raise stakes that you know and the reader knows aren't going to stick. Anyway, what I did read and what I liked best of it was Otto learning about the heroism that Peter possessed by having to try to measure up to him.
Yeah.
By, seeing, oh, wow, he really was pulling his punches with me. He could have been an absolute terror. And no, he just generally was this good guy. What have I done? What have I done to this good person? And can I ever achieve that again? That I thought was the interesting angle to it all. So you would need someone who would gain that new perspective, having to measure up to Sonic's legacy and ability. Maybe Surge, just because she has a very skewed worldview of him right now.
Mm-hmm.
And being forced to live and see through his eyes would be different. But the thing with Otto and Peter is they are very different in terms of power sets and abilities. Surge and Sonic, not so much.
No.
So it wouldn't be quite the same learning curve for her. Eggman, I don't know if it would work because he already has a certain degree of respect for Sonic. He understands him. I don't think that new perspective of piloting that body would change his mentality, and I think his ego is too great for him to change. And everybody else, we don't really have that robust of a rogues gallery that would really benefit from that, So I'm not sure if you could really make that work. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing the obvious.
Maybe Metal.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe.
He actually becomes the one true Sonic. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Does he just emulate Sonic from here on out? Then what does that make him? Now he can speak. Now he can hunger. Now he can interact.
Now he's a real boy.
He has no strings to hold him down. Maybe. Yeah, okay. That would be the most interesting of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. I agree. I think that would be kind of fascinating, actually. Another story idea for you to pitch. Come on, Ian. Hello, fellow organics. Thank you, chat, for that one. I appreciate it. Here's one from Ethereal Prince. Ian, something I've always wanted to know. If you've spent as much time as I have around the inner fandom spaces of Sonic, what do you think about the headcanon that Sonic is a trans guy? I think it's interesting and has always been a super comforting headcanon to me.
We did something like this similar recently. I have nothing against headcanons. I'm not going to validate or invalidate anybody's headcanons, and there's nothing wrong with being trans. If that is who you are, then cool. That is you. And I wish you all the best and health and happiness. I don't see it for Sonic myself. I just don't see any evidence for it, but he also seems to be comfortable enough with himself that it wouldn't be an issue for him. You know, if he was, then that was who he is, and he recognizes that, and he's fine with it, and he rolls with it.
Sure. I think that's kind of maybe why it would be someone's headcanon would be like, here's this guy who's totally cool with who he is and what he is and everything. And it's just like, yeah, it's totally cool. So I could see why that would be someone's headcanon.
I think that's more of a general aspiration for all of us to just be comfortable in our own skin and not worry about what others think and just be general cool guy, but whatever.
All right, here's one from Ayasuki. What's your favorite stage original soundtrack in Sonic 06?
Oh,
God, what's the name of the ice level? Snow level? Because that one's really good. I'm completely blanking.
In 06?
Yeah.
Oh, White Acropolis.
There we go. That's the one. Yeah.
Sorry, you said ice, and I'm thinking, ice cap, but it's more snowy. And
No. I was thinking, snow level. I was thinking snow. So White Acropolis, yes. That's a great tune.
Kingdom Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And the track that plays when you're fighting those damn pool balls in the desert temple. Those are the ones that immediately stand out to me. Kingdom Valley is just epic.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Yep. I like Wave Acropolis, or White Acropolis. I think all the White Acropolis tracks are pretty good, but the Snowy Peak one is just great stuff. I mean, the level itself, but
the whole soundtrack
it's
is
06.
great.
It's 06, so the music is a banger, but the game is just bang your head against the wall.
It's one of the two Fiery Future stages. Crisis City.
Is it Crisis City? Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah. I think I like the Generations renditions of it a bit better. Just for the way that it builds in the modern version, but I mean, the bass track is still fire.
Yeah.
Pun entirely intended.
Absolutely. We got a question here from Geo Knuckles. What happened to Kyle? I don't know.
Kyle, what happened?
I don't know. I'm still here, I think. I don't know what happened to me. What did happen to me?
Exactly what the doppelganger would say. Unmask yourself, fiend.
Oh no! You figured me out. I'm Kyle 2.0.
Oh, you finally upgraded.
I guess. I'm exactly the same.
I mean, the firmware is more stable this time around, right?
No, it's exactly the same.
Oh.
It's identical.
Oh, so you're okay.
Yes. That's what happened to me. I don't know what happened to me.
Does my warranty extend to Kyle Point 2.0 or only to Kyle Point 1.0?
You had a warranty?
I thought I did. That's what the guy in the alley said it was.
You might want to go get a refund on that.
Now I gotta find that alleyway again. Okay.
Here's a question from Green Soda. You wake up and hear a loud voice yell, "Oi, you mooks! He can't know we're here!" You wonder what it is, so you get your pop gun, and you walk into the kitchen to see Bean, Bark, and Fang robbing your house. What do you do?
Calmly walk over to my laptop, open up the word processor, and write how they put everything back and leave. And watch as their horrified and stupefied faces play out each action as they leave.
And they're very confused, like, why are they doing things? Why am I doing this? How am I doing this? What are you doing to me? You are truly in control, Ian. Truly. Here's a question from Joey, the Sonic fan. You know, it is said that all of Eggman's egg bosses had the cybernetic body parts, which gave them superpowers. Did Chunjo's ice breath come from his cybernetics?
Yes.
Cool. Literally. Here's a question from JR Unbound. Did Starline have to capture a shark to get Surge's teeth the way they are? Starline is a lot of things, but I never thought he'd be into fishing.
Well, here's your headcanon opportunity. Was he a monster that installed shark teeth, or did he use like a nail file?
No.
Just how awful was Dr. Starline? You decide.
I always go with the worst option. All right, here's a question from Cap'n. Omega is often depicted and described as having a one-track mind and doing things for vengeance against Eggman rather than for the greater good. My question is, how do other characters see him? I can imagine characters like Sonic and Amy believing there's more emotion to him deep down that he simply doesn't show, like when Sonic offers Metal a chance at redemption or when Amy saves Gamma out of the jail cell. While characters with more knowledge on robotics like Tails or Starline would possibly see Omega as a machine performing a task rather than anything more. How do you interpret how others see Omega? How do Rouge and Shadow see him? Do they believe he is capable of forming complex relationships with others, or do they think his determination against Eggman's robots is the only thing ever on his mind? I'm always curious about the robots in Sonic and seeing the limits of their consciousness, so it would be insightful to know the thoughts of the characters that personally know him. Thank you for indulging my interest in the heart of these metal war machines.
I think in general, Sonic and Company may find Omega to be a bit much, but he doesn't really pose a threat to anyone else because of that single-mindedness. And if he's happy doing what he's doing, then let him be. I don't know if they really stop and think about his greater consciousness or motivation. It's just, yeah, he's a bit loud and he comes on strong, but he fights Eggman, so I guess it's okay. Let him just be.
Omega's just a bit extra, and that's okay.
Yeah, like they'd be there for him if he had a sudden existential crisis. id-ego-s.exe suddenly kicks in, but otherwise he's just kind of there. Team Dark, I think, would be the one. Shadow and Rouge specifically would be the ones who most wholly embrace that idea of just let him be.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to get in the way of his rampages. They're not going to tell him who to be or what to do, and he in turn respects that and get alongs with them. Sonic and Amy or somebody might raise a hand and go, maybe watch out for the civilians. Sure, you can blow that up, but it's going to take out the power grid for the entire East Coast. Could you not? People like to have heating and light, whereas Shadow and Rouge are like, you do you, man.
They like him. They really, really like him.
Rouge is like, you mind helping me with this heist? I heard Eggman built this vault. Oh, it's already off the hinges. You're such a dear. Thank you.
Omega. I love Omega. He's a great character. So much fun. Here's a question from Metal Skulkbane. I want to ask a question about asking questions. Do you guys have preferences on how you're getting your questions? YouTube, email, Twitter? I have so many questions. So many. But I'm assuming dumping 20 questions in one post would be tactless at best, ignored at worst. So I'm putting one question per new video. Is that optimal? And I swear to Chaos, if you answer, use Patreon, then I'll probably keep watching you. But in a real huffy way.
Now, to be fair, if you wanted to dump 20 questions on us at once, we do have an incentive tier.
We do have
on Ko-fi, Patreon, where you can do that. It's a BumbleKast Mini. But if you don't want to do that and you want to just go the standard route, which is perfectly fine. Kyle, you manage the questions most. What would work best for you?
At this point, it doesn't matter. Honestly, everything is so backed up that it's really just a question of what works best for you. And I would appreciate patience and understanding that it could be maybe over a year before we get to answering some of your questions, if not longer. So at this point, but yeah, it's anything that works for you is fine. Honestly, dropping 20 questions at once does make things a little more difficult just because I have to remember to go back to your list occasionally and grab one. But So, but it's really just kind of the way you've been doing it is fine. Metal Skulk Bane, you're good. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll just say that. And our last question before we take a break is from Michael B. What about a hot dog wrapped in a pancake?
What about a hot dog wrapped in a pancake?
That's just a corn dog, kinda.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess. Well, hold on. There's the pancake wrapped like sausages that I've seen. Those are kind of tasty in that junk breakfast food sort of way.
And now that you say that, I'm imagining like just straight up a hot dog in a pancake, just wrapped up. That'd be weird, but not atrocious.
It's just a corn dog.
Yeah, but corn dog is more like corn flour, right?
It's but not. It doesn't really make much of a difference.
I would argue that a corn dog batter is of a different consistency than your standard pancake.
There's corn pancakes. It's not like you can't have corn flour pancakes.
Yeah, but then you gotta specify it's a corn pancake.
Yeah, well,
you don't make pancakes with corn flour traditionally.
Traditionally, no, I guess not. Unless you're maybe, I don't know, allergic to wheat or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking like your standard, most folks think about a pancake. So I don't know. I guess it could be a thing. It's not my go-to, but no, we're not a chocolate chip pancake, you monster.
I've seen the blueberry pancakes wrapped around a sausage. That's a thing.
That's different. That's like having blueberry sausage, but with a pancake on top of it. It's weird, but it's still doable.
Yeah, I know.
Blueberry and hot dog, though? No.
Hot dog is just a different form of a sausage.
Different texture, different flavor profile. There's a distinction.
You've never even had a chili dog. Come on.
I haven't had a corn dog either, to be perfectly honest.
What?
But that's besides the point.
Are you freaking... What? Hold on. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not really big on hot dogs in general.
But you've literally never, not once in your life, ever had a corn dog?
Not that I can think of.
Wow. I'm rather impressed you've made it this far. I'm just surprised. Wow. We learn something new every episode here on the BumbleKast. I love me a good corn dog. Oh, man. I mean, hot dogs are kind of hit or miss. It depends, but yeah, you can have a sausage corn dog. Why not? Oh, well. Enough hot dog talk. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back with more BumbleKast. We're back. We got a question from Necromage. Did Starline intentionally reveal his role in restoring Eggman from his Mr. Tinker persona with the goal of angering Belle so he could better analyze her? Or was that a big, happy accident?
Oh, it was intentional. He knew it would get some kind of response out of her.
I mean, yeah, it's Starline. He's a big stinky jerk. What do you expect? Very smelly duck. Here's a question from Nuclear Energy. Does Sonic not being shocked by our attention to him because he's used to being a hero mean that there is, in-universe, weird religious fan art of Sonic?
Well,
I hope.
I mean, if Sonic's Earth is anywhere near analogous to our own internet Earth, yeah, he's probably seen a fair bit. And he's just a cool dude, and he rolls with it.
He's seen some things. Don't look too deep into those green eyes. He's seen some things. Here's a question from Ralph OTG. Is Bark the polar bear mute or silent by choice?
I haven't decided yet.
Oh, so it's your choice now, huh? Well, so you're saying the mandates aren't real then, huh?
I mean, I figure I'm the only one who's really carrying this flag, so...
You're the only one who cares? Yeah, I know.
We'll see what gets approved if I decide to fall one way or the other. It's gonna be real funny if I get a note from Sega saying, "No, he's like this." Like, oh, really? Okay, then.
I feel like he's like Silent Bob, but that's just me.
That's where I'm more inclined to lean, because I feel like it would be a better joke if he says something at some point.
Yeah.
Take kind of Breath of the Wild style, and he's super talkative. You just never see him do it.
Exactly.
Sonic enters the scene with him and Amy, and she's like, "Oh, we've just been having the most delightful conversation."
Yep.
And then Sonic says something offhand that's mildly insulting, so Bark pouts and doesn't respond to him anymore. Just keep it as a running gag.
That's right.
Bean have Bean go, "Do you ever say anything ever?" Yes. Oh, okay.
Bean and Silent Bark. There you go.
There you go.
I like it.
I mean, whether he's straight up mute or he's just taciturn, it's between Fang and Bean. When would he get a word in edgewise anyway?
Right. Yeah. He doesn't need to say anything, really.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Although I do like that he seems like kind of a good guy who's just fallen in with the wrong crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I like that about him. He's a delightful character. He's really become something. He's come into his own since being randomly introduced out of nowhere, because that's just what Sonic characters do. Just get randomly introduced out of nowhere. Here's a question from Rosemary R. If Nintendo asked you to make comics by using their IPs, which one would you pick? I personally would like to see a Kirby comic.
Star Fox.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Give me the reins. Just give me the IP.
Yeah.
Let me go nuts.
Just let him have it. Let him have it. Metroid is another one I think you could do something with.
Metroid needs to be done a certain way.
Yeah, Metroid is harder than Star Fox. Star Fox is like right up your alley. It's freaking
Star Fox is Sonic in space.
It's cartoony talking animals, so yeah, it's fine. It's exactly the same.
It's science fantasy with more leaning towards the sci-fi angle, but yeah, it's
yeah.
Give me. I've got an idea for how to approach a Legend of Zelda thing.
Mm-hmm.
If that ever came my way, if you were one of my patrons over on my personal Patreon, you saw I had a full breakdown on how I tackle a Splatoon thing. So
yeah,
there's a lot of options there. There's a ton, and Kirby would be fine too. Kirby would be fun.
I really don't think you could go wrong with any of them. Honestly, there's a lot of fun to be had playing in Nintendo's sandbox, regardless of what toys you're playing with.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Here is a question from Sam S. Is Marine the Raccoon not allowed to appear in the IDW comics?
She already did. Of course, this is maybe an old question.
Probably, yes.
If you missed out on the annual 2022 issue, go grab it. Marine's there.
Yay! Yay, Marine. She's back where she should be. Here's a question from Sir Bibton. If fans were one day able to donate enough to have a Q&A neither of you can do a convincing enough impression of, what would you do? Would you just try the best job you could by yourselves? Would you use the money people donated to hire a voice actor or actress? If it's a character with an already established voice, would you ask their original voice actors to join for an episode? If you get the chance to bring a voice actor on the podcast, would you provide a pre-written script or just tell them to wing it?
Well, we treat the character episodes, which I'm surprised we have so many of at this point.
I'm not.
We treat them as the guest episodes. And for that kind of money, we can't hire a VA. Not for that kind of dosh. That's insultingly low.
We definitely could not hire the professional voice actors who actually voice the characters in the franchise proper. No, we could not. Not on that. And I wouldn't even necessarily feel comfortable paying a fan that little to do a VA spot for that.
If it was a situation where I couldn't even do a funny off version, like if it would just be the absolute pinnacle of cringe, then we'd refund. It would be sad to disappoint folks, but we're not going to waste your time or money.
No. Yeah, it's also kind of tough because we're not like an official representative of these characters or of the product or of the franchise.
Right.
So it's like, how much of this is how much do you want to officially endorse this, Ian? Because you're not Sega. You're not Sega. And we're not
this
Sega,
is understood
definitely.
Parody.
Yes. It's supposed to be, yes. That's the intent.
And I am not a professional voice actor. If we were to bring in like an actual pro, then they might not even want to because of potential issues with a licensor. So
yeah.
I don't foresee this being an issue, but if you had great aspirations to hear me riff as Leonardo from the 80s Ninja Turtles cartoon, that ain't gonna happen. Sorry.
But you probably could do it as Black Doom for maybe about 10 minutes or so.
Frequent water breaks. Somebody bring me a lozenge.
Oh boy. Here's a question from Skull Pirate Mike. Given that Omega's Sonic Channel bio states that he was built to guard Shadow and prevent him from running wild, is it possible Omega turning against Eggman was by design, as a means to keep him close to Shadow without arousing suspicion? Or was it just an unfortunate programming oversight that Eggman didn't foresee when Omega reluctantly revealed that he sealed Shadow away in 06? I always got the impression that it was something he didn't choose to do, like some deep programming kicked in and took over, suggesting Eggman still had some level of control.
That's one way to interpret it, and I think it's vague enough that I can't say, no, that's wrong. Omega did fully rebel of his own free will. Like, he was mad at Eggman, and he's been throwing a tantrum ever since. That's established. There's no deeper thought to that. From 06, I interpreted that scene as him actually having regret. Like, he had to bring Shadow down for whatever reason, and he actually regretted doing so. And I will forever regret that the line read for that was as mechanical as it was. There was so much pathos he could have had in one line read, but that's neither here nor there. Why he took down Shadow in the bad future, we don't fully know or have any context for, and there may not be any, to be perfectly honest.
Omega made a bad future in Act 2. Well, we got a question here from Mr. Murderbird of the Giant Murdering Bird. Sonic/MST3K crossover. Go.
That's another Sonic Boom episode.
I mean, yes. The question is, what would they watch? What would they riff?
Well, here's the thing. It's movie night at Eggman's place. He never realized that there was a movie night at his place. He usually is in bed by this point.
Yeah.
And who are these people who are on the couch with them? Well, they're from that space station. What space station? How did you get down here? Why did you get past security?
The dog bone shaped space station. Don't worry about it. It's just a show.
Exactly. Just need to relax. What movie do they riff, though?
Would it be a movie, or would they just riff on like old Sonic stuff? Other Sonic things. I
almost said that's almost too meta, but we're treating this as Sonic Boom.
This is Boom, so yeah.
Maybe that's it. They marathon like an episode, one of the most infamous episodes from each of the cartoons.
Yeah.
Leading up to their own. And it just starts up to be that episode that they're riffing on.
Is it just going to be the... would Sat AMs be the margarine episode?
No, probably the Rebecca.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Inexcusably, irredeemably, bleh.
There's like, I mean, you have a whole buffet of Adventures of episodes to choose from.
Well, Adventures of wears its insanity on its sleeve. You'd have to really find one that was just
bad. Maybe the Bears. The Bears.
Which one?
Yes.
Underground, I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe the one with the mechanical hedgehog baby just for the reaction.
Yes. That one. Yeah.
Like, everyone's appalled except for Eggman, who's just laughing really hard at it. Along with Crow.
Well, yeah, I mean, Crow's having a good time. Oh, let's see. What's the other one? What's Sonic X episode?
I don't like the worst I can think off the top of my head are like just kind of boring. Like the one with the mecha gorilla, where the gimmick was we have a gorilla.
I don't know. Being suggested the episode where Chris selfishly shuts down the portal.
It's not necessarily a bad episode. It's just a bad choice on his part. Like, we're not talking like, bad decisions or bad plot direction. We're talking like bad
just
episodes,
a bad episode,
animation quality.
Yeah.
Something that's fun to lampoon on its own merits, not necessarily at a fully meta level.
Yeah. It's hard to say for Sonic X, I would assume. Sonic X is difficult. And then there weren't any in between, were there? I guess I could do, like, the movie trailer. The original movie trailer.
That's low-hanging fruit. We've been there, done that.
I know. I just want to see Dr. Eggman meeting Dr. Clayton Forrester. That sounds good. I like that one. Orbot and Qbot and TV's Frank have a tea party. Yes, thank you. The OVA. That could be fun.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of silliness in that has lots of things they could poke at without being too mean. I would love an MST3K and Sonic crossover. There's plenty of silliness to be had there. And of course, it would have to be a Boom episode. Of course. All right, we got a question from the Inktician. Who is the real leader of the Resistance in Forces? I have a strong suspicion that Tails was the leader before Knuckles took the helm, considering he's the only one with remotely enough relevant experience in the game canon. It would make sense, and the Silver Statement would make sense given the context. Knuckles, even in the earlier games where he was taken seriously, would have been a poor choice in this situation, so his rise to the leader position must have been an emergency decision where they needed someone decisive to fill the leader role regardless of their tactical prowess. Someone like Knuckles. For Silver to consider Tails losing it had to have meant Tails' position was instrumental to their success, right? Maybe I'm too deep in this, but I've thought about this a ton of times and it feels like an implication that has gone over our heads.
Sorry, no. You were attempting to apply fan spackle to the cracks in the plot, but Knuckles was the Resistance leader from the get-go. When we did the prequel comics, I tried to spackle a bit myself with him rationalizing that Silver coming back and warning him that they need to get moving would be the linchpin to changing the future, and thus he proactively took command. But yeah, he was always the commander, and no, it doesn't make any sense. The comment about Tails losing it apparently is not in the Japanese version. It's just that he went off on his own and decided to do a solo act a la Sonic. And in the English version, it's just that he completely had a meltdown when he thought Sonic died and went off on his own. So, no, sorry. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, dang. Here's a question from Tick. How influential would you say the BumbleKast has been in the creation of the lore team at Sega?
Not remotely in the slightest.
I'm just afraid anybody at Sega even knows who I am.
I can ask. Do you want me to
No. I don't want to know. I don't want them to know. That's dangerous. I don't want the Sega ninjas to target me. I don't need that in my life. You can have the Sega ninjas. I don't want them.
The only crossover between the two is the fact that I am present for either. That is it. Okay, and both deal with questions about Sonic, but that's very different reasons.
One happens behind closed doors, and the other one is the BumbleKast.
Yeah, nada. There's no correlation whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's good. That is how it should stay.
Yes. Keep me far, far away from anybody looking at Sega looking at like this guy like, who the heck did we hire that is hanging out with this guy? Just no. No. And our last question comes to us from Fair Dragon 5. Why weren't any Jet Set Radio characters included in Worlds Unite?
There wasn't room.
It also
I
might
mean,
have been a rights thing. I don't know if that ever came up or if you remember that. But
we didn't get that far. I mean, it's been so long. I think they were on the short list of things to pitch, but we got all of our asks for the Sega side of things, so we never had to cut anything. The only thing we had to cut on the Capcom side was Phoenix Wright.
Right. I mean, no, not right, because there was no Phoenix Wright.
No.
Correct. Lol. I'm so funny. I'm not.
But yeah, there might have been a rights issue, you think?
Honestly, hard to say. Given some of the weird rights statuses of Sega franchises, it's possible. I don't know. It's definitely one of those, like, I feel like it would be kind of up in the air, could go either way sort of things. So I don't know exactly what the rights are for Jet Set Radio, but it would probably come down to something like that, yeah. But otherwise, yeah, there was just no room. It was already bloated as it is.
Yeah, I mean, by that same token, there was no Rise Star, there was no Virtual Fighter, there was no. Oh God, we could go on forever on this. It wasn't a conscious omission. It was just they weren't the first ones to get pitched, and we got what we got.
You didn't even put Daytona in there. For shame, Ian. For shame. Anyway, we don't have any Frontier spoilers on this episode because these questions are so old. Frontiers wasn't even a twinkle in Izuka's eye. So we're done.
Well, but before we go, we have to give a big thank you to all our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members who make this show possible. Big thank you to Daniel H., James K., Jennifer R., John B., Robotnik Home, Sam Cybercat, Samuel P., Torchbound, Mike B., Dave M., Andrew D., Salute Your Cat, Coupling Crew 128, J. Frost, Do As Diz Din, Hero of Light 13, Professor Scruffy Nat, Noni, Chris A., Sony, Triforce Riku, John M., Jeb, Yami M., Fiona M., Lee H.K., Lisa M., Ben Wolfsbane, Sonic, Chevelle, Scurvy Pirate Hog, Keeper of Monsters, Axis Arc Fighter, Xanderoni the Painter, Tick Tick, Jonathan D., The Name is X, Nimerick, Godzilla, Nondle, Quaggle Gaggle, Starlight Suck, Cameron H., Justin S., Twilord, Ava Arctic, Dove, Alex GS, Just a Mountain Soul, Dabbler the Dalek, Sonic Legacy, Chaos Sonic 1, Pedanti Cat, The Discan, Red the Supernamic, Les, Jennifer H., Chad, Jolene B., Alpha Mon or You Can, Ink Thinks, Joshua S., Omega Watt, Dapper Shinks, Of the Stars, Preston M., Noah S., and Tails, Sonic 84, Kojiro Highwind, Awesome Cakester, Supersonic Fan, Derusiful Radry, Yuma 221, Chase L, Callan Q, KJB, Red Wolf, Wild 48, Nova Polyduo, Chaos Shadow, Miles the Prower, Navarre, Exidel, Agent Kaz, Four Sonic Fan, Rhythm Raccoon, Puppy the Scholar, Pigdan 20, In Zephyr, The Marble Gardener, Mox, Miggy Sawdust, ONBD, Tenista James, Indabin, Oz James, Shimmy M, Curly Quills, Angela V, Vlad Crooker, Wildcard 717, Z Broadcast, IPC, Smiley 21, Sammy S, Bushmitten, Michael P, Sterling Sonic, Jack C, Wheelie Doe, Sandra B.H., Conga, Rocket Man, Windskull, Supernova, Superior Pizza, Sonic Page, Delta God 77, Thigoff, Philip is Cold, The Crucified Devil, Loop D Loop, Omega Man 21, Lacey M, Dominic the Raccoon, Planet Breezy, Caswell, Mr. Murderbird, The Giant Murdering Bird, Unity, Kedrian, Lori L, Native Nerd 27, Jason G, Cody G, Lucky Lychee, Will the Prophecy Come True, Tetsu Knife, Ultra Guy, The ID Card, Phil C, Jonathan F, Hip Kid Brick, Levi C, Crowbo, Nils, Sonic Mania 2099, Hadronis, Noob 600, Salato 02, Paley, Bug Party, Guts, Danny the Light, True Cosmic Digilab 79, Zapon Sirion, Sonic Bot, El Technopada, Buttered Noodles, Miles Prower D, Frost the Hobbadon, Meta Mode, Wheels 282, Hedgehog, Jamal S, Lunch Billion, Snow F14 Me, Sprites Forever, The Internet Person, UU, Z Cartoonist, and Way Past Ordinary.
Oh man, just an incredible list. Continuing to expand and explode in amazing ways. Just thank you everybody for your support.
That's going to wrap us up for this edition of the BumbleKast. I think we'll probably be running BumbleKast minis post-holiday so that we can, actually have a holiday. Novel, I know.
Yeah.
And then we'll see you for the end of the year as we ring in 2023 with the BumbleKast. God, that's weird to say.
BumbleKast 2023. Oh, man. Well, we got over 200 episodes this year, so yeah. and it's growing super fast. So we're going to be going to be like 200 more episodes here real quick.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for the all new, all different BumbleKast. Spoiler alert, it's exactly the same.
Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Happy holidays. And we'll see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Time for the BumbleKast reboot. Yep. Starting back at number 1. No. The BumbleKast reboot was the Q&A. Moving to the Q&A episodes. Because we started back at number 1.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
Enough hot dog talk. Have at you.
Hey, how about you? How about thee? And now we fight. We must fight with our hot dogs on a stick.
What is a corn dog but a miserable battered sausage?
But enough talk.
Go to that Korean corn dog place.
I don't remember.
Korean corn dog place.
Apparently there's a Korean corn dog place.
They have corn dogs in Korea? It sounds delicious.
They are fancy. I don't remember.
Oh,
I have a lot to keep up
you
with
guys
here.
You guys are saying Korean corn dogs. You want Korean corn dogs? You say these are a thing. I didn't even know it was a thing. You've never had a corn dog puppy? Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It's time to fix it. You can fix that. You can change that today. I've never had a Korean corn dog. Usually mine are made with chicken.